Hi, so I'm Mark Doherty. I work for Adobe. I'm a developer evangelist. I've been doing developer evangelism for about 4.5 years now, and we're here in Dubai on tour with Research in Motion to launch the BlackBerry PlayBook for developers and get people excited about beginning to build apps and optimize their web content for the device.
Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. I just have a question. What are the challenges that developers might face while they are using Adobe Flash and Adobe Air in building their applications on BlackBerry and other devices?
Yeah, so we have, I think, roughly 3 million Flash developers around the world. And so it's a lot of people, and they all have different challenges. You know, they haven't all started from the same place. So some people are building, gaming content or video content. And a number of people are building advertising or rich internet applications as well. So they all have different challenges ahead of them. A number of Adobe customers are also building applications using HTML and JavaScript. So the core open web standard technology. And we support all of that as well. Flash itself lives within HTML. So it's a mix and match of both technologies that we're supporting moving forward. So I think the key challenges that they face are obviously the sheer number of devices that are coming to market. And we have obviously huge ranges of tablets and mobile phones that exist. And even if you look at different regions in the world, they're different per region as well. So like in India, you have a huge number of Nokia smartphones and some BlackBerry smartphones, etc. So there's this mix. So we have to try and accommodate all of them. So the big challenge that they face is trying to get their content onto those screens in such a way that they only have to do it once. For most of the time, they optimize their content once, and then they have another, tweaking here and there to get it to work on all platforms. And that's really what we're here to talk about: how people can use Flash and Adobe Air to deliver experiences across all types of screens.
Right. So you believe it's like compatible? I mean, if someone developed an app for a torch, will it work on the playbook fine, or does it have to be in different resolution? Or
So there's really two big problems. One is that we've been delivering Flash for extremely high-end smartphones. So certainly in North America and Western Europe, some places in Japan, these form the vast majority of devices that people own now. In the rest of the world, we will see more of those devices start to appear. So the PlayBook is obviously one of those devices, extremely high-end device with 2 processors, a beautiful screen, and an amazing operating system. And I think for people building applications, they need to work out who their customer is. So if their customer is 90% using the BlackBerry Bold or the BlackBerry Torch or one of those variant devices, then they need to build their application for those devices. Those devices don't support Flash, and it's quite unlikely that they will at this point. But we are working with RIM to deliver Flash for mobile hardware as well as the PlayBook now. So we're here launching this, and we believe that there will be more to come in the future. So if a developer is building an app that they want to run on the PlayBook and the Torch, at this point, the most consistent platform to use would be HTML, probably HTML5, and a mixture of JavaScript.
all right. And in your opinion, how did Adobe improve the user experience, let's say, on the PlayBook? I mean, PlayBook is like being labeled as a good web browsing experience. So how did Adobe help in this?
So one of the big secrets of the PlayBook, I mean, if we look at the interface here, you can see that it's really, really, really beautiful. And you get it there?
All right.
You can see that this is the experience where people go when they launch different applications. I mean, there's the camera running. At one point, we have Adobe Reader for PDFs. We can go and launch a web browser and go to our Hotmail account. We can go and launch the Tungle calendar, and this connects to my Outlook calendar. And this is built in Flash. This was This is the Torch browser. This is Adobe's Reader running native, and the camera itself is slightly different. So everything that you're looking at here, all of this menu system, that's Flash. This wasn't created using some special sauce. This is a Flash player running directly on the hardware, so that you get this stunning performance and really good battery life, etc. But it also enables RIM to dynamically change the device. It also will help them, maybe theme it for a different market. So if I'm a teenager, maybe I don't want a pink background. Maybe I want something like Rockstar or a bit more music focused or something like that. And with Flash, it's so expressive that it helps you develop a user experience really, really quite simply. Literally dragging pictures in and gluing it all together. So this is not the first time Flash has been used for user interfaces on mobile devices. Companies like LG and Samsung were really successful using Flash. So really successful devices like the LG Beauty, the LG Cookie, the LG Prada, and the Samsung D900, which is won Best in Show at the Mobile World Congress in 2007. They all used Flash for their user interface to improve the experience. And in LG's case, they went from number 7 manufacturer to number 5 manufacturer in the same year, simply because they could get to market much quicker using Flash technology.
All right, great. I understand that you have an interesting app that you can share with us today.
Let's try. So I need to get rid of a few of these first. So I have a few apps, just in case it doesn't work too well. But here it is. It's called Radar.
I like your blog, by the way. Flash
mobile blog.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You posted something while you were here in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
It's
I
a video.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that this is going to work because of the networking here. But this application is available, runs on the desktop, runs on Android. You can download it on the Android market today. And the idea is that you can connect with your Facebook and Twitter friends, and then you launch into like a 3D globe, and you can see them pop up when they are available for a chat. And then you can hit a button to call them and have a direct conversation with the other phone, and use that. That consistently works absolutely everywhere. But unfortunately, the network here is not working too good. What I have as a fallback, I can show you some demos. Here's one using our digital publishing solution. So this is the Reader's Digest, which is upside down, which is a popular magazine. Is it just going the other way again? I bet it spins. No, there we go. So it's a really popular magazine. You can see the print looks absolutely stunning here on the PlayBook. Really nice clarity. You have a really natural reading experience. Moving around. You can go into different categories and jump around, and also go into this menu view and see the whole magazine as it would be if you laid it out using a publishing solution. So this is how people
the good thing about
build magazines.
PlayBook is the size. I mean, it's like
it's a
small
perfect
book,
reading experience.
So for the reading, it's amazing.
And especially if you want to have a cup of coffee and read at the same time, it's much more natural to hold it like a small book as well. And so I think that that's going to be one of the reasons that the PlayBook is so successful, because it helps people be more productive. Also in terms of taking notes. Like, it's excellent at doing that, but it's also really high performance. I mean, here's like a piano, which I think is really cool. Not that I know how to play the piano, but I'm gonna pretend. You can like, when you do the proper video, you can like put in another song, and I'll be like,
this is a good song that I'm playing right now.
That guy at Adobe.
It's the maestro of the piano.
The other thing is that it has 2 HD cameras, front and back, so you can have like these video calls that are really cool. Like here's a 720p movie, which is totally unoptimized. I need to change the display brightness. So this is an unoptimized 720p movie. You get amazing battery life, like amazing performance. like I watched two-hour long movies playing this back on the plane, and it cost me like 20% of the battery, which is amazing because
It's good for
it means you could
flight.
12 hours of movies if you needed to. So you could go all the way to California on this. Facebook is built entirely in Flash for the PlayBook, which is really cool. So you can share photos, do status updates and all that fun stuff with Facebook. And I think finally, I'll show you this. Let's hope it works. So again, we don't have an internet connection. This is going to be painful. So let me try shifting. Okay, we will restart that one. Okay, so here we have an HD video playing in the background of a Flash application. So this is actually designed for television. So this application scales naturally for 1080p or 720p, but it also runs on every other device. So like here's, I'll tilt this up in a second for you. So here it is on the HTC Desire. We're not connected to the Wi-Fi, but you can see the beginning of the experience. You get to play the video back on both devices. Performance is identical. The PlayBook does a much better job at playing HD video, naturally just because it's brand new, super fast at that type of thing. But here, I can go off and play the video. You can see I have these icons. These work really well on a television as well. So there's quite a lot of things that the PlayBook is very good at that are similar to television. So tablets and televisions, I think, are going to have a lot in common.
Yeah.
People sitting on their sofa at home and communicating with their TV, or maybe a game show and playing along at home, that type of thing. So it's really easy for people to build applications for the PlayBook, also for Android, and increasingly now we're seeing much better support for Apple hardware as well. So the iPad and the iPhone as well. So we have support for our Flex framework, which is an open framework that helps people build really robust applications. But people are also building, creative content, games, video applications as well. And actually today, was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago, we found out that an Adobe Air application built using Flash technology is now the #1 application in the App Store in China, which is, I think, really great. I think the guy's panicking a little because he's on my team, and he thought I'll just do a little demo, and he submitted it, and now it's #1, so he has to support it now because he's got all these fans. So I think that's really impressive, and I think once our community start to build all of their apps running across all of these platforms, we'll see a lot more successes.
Okay, just a question I had now. What do you think are the popular categories, for applications? Is it like into news and reading? Is it in games and entertainment? What do you think? Which is?
It really depends on the market. So,
do you have anything on this market, the Middle East, for example?
So in this market, there's a mix of two. So we do certainly my team here really believe that there's a mixture of gaming is quite important, but also enterprise is something that's coming forward as well. I think that there are a number of publishers here who are already using our tools and would probably benefit from creating digital magazines, help people distribute their digital content that would normally be paper, get that onto the App Store, or get it onto the Android market, or in this case the BlackBerry app world, so that you can find more customers, more viewers for what would normally be a print piece. So I think that the print publishing industry are going to see a lot of success here, and I think followed by rich internet applications. So people in the enterprise who are building applications for banks, that type of banks, insurance, international brands, they're going to really benefit by enabling being enabled to get their applications across a multitude of devices. So, yeah.
One final question: what are the best ways to monetize the applications on mobile? In
So
your
there's basically I think three major ways. In the Flash community, we have a somewhat 50-50 split for our community, making money through selling projects to a brand and working on a sort of daily rate. And then the other is where people just go creative and they sit in their office and think, I'm going to build a game, or I'm going to build my own application. And amazingly, the guys at BlackBerry had a competition where you could win a free playbook if you submitted an application that got approved and went into the BlackBerry app world. So there were hundreds of applications that got submitted. RIM in fact announced that 3,000 got submitted, so I don't know how much quality there was, but some of the results are available on the BlackBerry app world already, and we know that a number of our developers around the world have started to see some high numbers of downloads, and it's become quite a successful tactic for the guys at BlackBerry. I mean, this is one of the games that someone built, a guy called Justin Smith, and I absolutely love this game. It's called Dillo Hills. So you have this little guy here.
Yeah, this is really amazing. I like this.
You can see that you can roll around the hills, and it's a bit like Sonic the Hedgehog, but I think it's more fun, and they have cool music to go along with it that I think I turned off. And you can see that.
Yeah, this one is really funny.
So you can see that it's quite cool. You can go flying, and if you want to stay up in the air for a while, you can do that too. But the good thing is that this guy was able to get the same game and making really no differences. He can get this working on Android and all manner of Android devices, tablets, as well as the phones. So let me just find that for you. So here we go. So this is exactly the same code. He's only written this once and done the design once. And all he has to do is just optimize a few little bits and pieces to make it really look beautiful on these devices. So here
I can hear the music now.
Exactly the same. So you have exactly the same experience here on Android devices as well. So when people start to think about monetization, you have to try and reach the customers where they are. And so building an application once for an iPhone device and then seeing 400 downloads is nowhere near as great as going, and deploying your application, say, on the app world, and maybe you'll see 1,000 downloads. So 1,000 downloads on the app world, 400 on iOS, maybe 500 on the Android platform. But when you add all of them together, it's more options for monetization. And I think that's really key, is using as many options as possible.
So do you think it's better to have the application for free and do advertising, for example, or
You can do. So
is it better than charging people for downloads? Or?
So it actually depends on the market. So in some markets, people are not willing to pay for applications. There have been some arguments that on Android, free applications are far more successful than paid applications. The belief is that on the Apple App Store, that paid applications are doing very well, but everyone I speak to, they have mixed responses. So I believe that from a customer perspective, you have to take a regional perspective. You have to build your content for the person that you want to sell it to, and then you have to go and market to them. And if that means that on Android you use advertising, but on the App Store from Apple you use a paid model, then that's fine. But you should have those options in front of you. And don't forget the web. Flash works on the web too. We have examples all across Facebook of people with huge businesses created from nothing. Some of those companies, like Playfish, recently sold for nearly $300 million. And those guys obviously have a plan. They're not just great Flash developers. They have a business plan, and I think having a business plan really helps as well.
All right, Mark. Thank you, and welcome to Dubai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.